What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got Julianna Pena talking about an Amanda Nunes rematch, Justin Gaethje showing all the respect, Izzy's title fight confusion, and much more. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this. Now let's get into it. A respectful Justin Gaethje says he can't wait to break Oliveiras' face as the next challenger. Despite all of the criticism that Justin Gaethje had been throwing in Charles Oliveira's way over the last few weeks, it seems as though the Brazilian has done more than enough to earn a ton of respect from Gaethje. Gaethje, over the past several weeks, has stated that Oliveira had a tendency to quit in his fights, but clearly that's not the case anymore, if it ever was, as Oliveira rebounded from being knocked down in his last two fights against Michael Chandler and most recently Dustin Poirier this past weekend, only to come back and finish the fight. Oliveira successfully defended his title this past weekend with a standing rear naked choke of Poirier in the third at UFC 269, something that Gaethje was truly impressed with. Case in point, right after the fight, ESPN caught up with Gaethje and asked him about what he thought about the fight. This is what he said.
I absolutely loved it. I will give no disrespect to Charles. He is now the undisputed champion, and I cannot wait to fight him. I don't care where or when, but yeah. I saw a competitor tonight. I saw a dog, and I can't wait to break his face. He gets hit a lot, and he better pray and hope for the next however many days until our fight that he takes me down, gets his choke, because if not, we see what happens.
In addition, there's a video floating out on social media of Gaethje showing tons of respect to Oliveira after Saturday's title fight.
I said that was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, nothing but respect, honestly.
Só respeito por você, só respeito.
Following UFC 269, UFC President Dana White let it be known that Gaethje is indeed next in line to challenge for the lightweight title. For his part, Gaethje is coming off a tough win over Michael Chandler in a Fight of the Year contender at UFC 268 last month, a fight that was seen as a title shot eliminator. So far, no date has been announced for an Oliveira-Gaethje fight. Now, with both men pretty much locked in to fight each other next, do you expect Oliveira versus Gaethje to be just as good, if not a better fight, than Oliveira-Poirier? Do you think it'll be closer than what we saw over the weekend? Let us know in the comments below. Sean O'Malley joins in the criticism of Daniel Cormier's commentary, and DC responds. It seems like more fighters are being critical of Daniel Cormier's commentary work, as Sugar Sean O'Malley had some choice words for DC during his post-fight press conference after UFC 269. O'Malley comfortably defeated Julianna Pena over the weekend, a tough Brazilian who was on a 3-fight winning streak coming into this matchup. Pena made it a close affair for much of the first round. That is, until the last minute of the first, when O'Malley could be seen taking a quick glance at the clock. DC mentioned that little look at the timer and insinuated that O'Malley was meeting a wall of fatigue. Instead, O'Malley turned up the heat and blasted Pena with beautiful combinations, hurting and swarming the Brazilian to finish the fight with a TKO win in the first. After the bout, O'Malley said this about DC's comments and insinuation.
And I want to thank myself for looking at the clock and seeing how much time was left, because some people, Daniel Cormier, my last fight, he's like, oh my God, he's looking at the clock. Like, it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Yeah, I'm gonna look at the clock. If I didn't look at the clock, I wouldn't know how much time I have left.
Those words got back to DC as he responded on Twitter by saying this. At Sugar Sean MMA, great win tonight. You and I spoke this week. You could have told me that. It was simple. I wouldn't have done anything but took you criticism. You look great tonight. Earlier in the week, Dominic Cruz called out DC in a press conference, suggesting he doesn't research the fights prior to calling them, which prompted a confrontation, albeit a somewhat jokey one, about a day or two before the fights. Still, what do you think about this back and forth between O'Malley and DC? And what do you think about Cormier's work as a commentator? Tai Tuivasa's 4th straight knockout has him looking forward to the next opponent. Bam Bam gets some of the loudest pops whenever he's in the building, and Saturday was no different, as the crowd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas hit a fever pitch during his second round KO of Augusto Sakai. The win was his 4th straight, as the 28-year-old is coming into his own in the striking department and moving into superstar status with his interviews, his fighting style, the finishes, and of course, his celebrations. The Shoey is perhaps the most unique celebration in the UFC, and Bam Bam is becoming a household name in the fight world. Now, if he could only get more money.
Hopefully these 4 consecutive wins and 4 knockouts get me in a better conversation for a bigger contract. I'm a prize fighter. I do this to feed my family and give my son a better future. So hopefully that gets me in that conversation. But as much as fighting comes, I'll bang on with anyone.
Tuivasa says he's here for the fans, looking to entertain as he continues to rack up the wins and connect with the fans. What do you make of Bam Bam's comments here? And do you feel that he's on the cusp of superstardom? Don't forget to take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all the latest fight news. Confusion over Adesanya Whittaker 2 has Izzy calling out the UFC and Dana White responding. Is the title shot rematch between Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker 2 in jeopardy? There was a bit of confusion over the weekend as to what exactly is going on with the highly anticipated middleweight title fight. We do know that the two men are locked in to fight each other for the title, but that date hadn't been announced yet. That is, until this past weekend. The UFC posted a fight poster on Twitter announcing that the rematch between Adesanya and Whittaker will take place on Saturday, February 12th. Adesanya's own management company, Paradigm Sports, also tweeted the announcement. But Adesanya is hinting that this is a lie, reposting the fight poster and then tweeting an emoji of a cap, which means that this was a lie. In the post-fight press conference for UFC 269, Dana White was asked about what he thought about this. This was clearly the first time that Dana had not only heard the term cap and its meaning, but that Adesanya was calling the fight a lie. He seemed a bit irritated and confused. Then, after confirming that the two had signed a bout agreement, White said this.
Okay. That's weird. Listen, you don't want to fight Whittaker. Okay, then I guess we'll find another fight.
Okay.
Who gives a
I guess not you.
Who gives a I definitely don't give a You don't want the Whittaker fight to be on? Okay, then we'll find something else. Why would we lie? When have we ever lied? This fight's coming up. We lied about it?
I didn't say you lied.
20 years have we ever lied about making a fight? Some fights are harder to make than others, but I don't think we've ever lied about making a fight. And why would we lie about that fight?
It's unclear if Adesanya is serious or simply throwing some playful banter here, but it's a head-scratcher for sure. What do you make of this situation? New UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion Julianna Pena offers Amanda Nunes a title shot rematch. In a massive shock, Julianna Pena submitted Amanda Nunes to capture the UFC Women's Bantamweight title at UFC 269 in Las Vegas. Pena was a massive underdog going into the fight, but survived a tough first round in which Nunes had her back and was threatening a submission, only for her to bounce back and throw a litany of well-placed jabs. The fight ended with Pena rear naked choking Nunes for the belt. Case in point, this is what she said in her post-fight press conference.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks that I am just only versed on the ground or that I'm just a ground person, but in mixed martial arts, you have to be versed everywhere, and I'm confident on the feet, I'm confident in the clinch, and I'm confident on the ground. Wherever the fight goes, I'm comfortable.
The fight was several years in the making, since Pena had consistently called out Nunes while the Brazilian was busy with her reign of terror in both the bantamweight and then later the featherweight divisions in the women's category. Now, with the belt firmly in her grasp, UFC President Dana White said that he's keen for an immediate rematch between the two, and Pena wholeheartedly agrees.
We could do it next week. I'm free next month. 2 months from now, whenever they want to do it, I'm ready. Definitely, if she wants to do a rematch, we can do a rematch.
Are you excited for a rematch between Pena and Nunes? And how do you think that fight will go? That's all for today's video. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. See you next time.